Hi guys, welcome to Landscape Rescue. My name's Stuart Moore, and on this video we're going to do some updates on some of the plants you've seen me plant here at Affinity Estates. So here we are at Affinity Estates, and I've done a lot of planting here, but I've never done a before and after video, which is something that I've really wanted to start this channel and start doing because I think you can make a dramatic impact with landscaping. Landscaping is the backdrop to memories, so it's a big responsibility. Back here, this is the procession area. I'm standing in it right now. This area, the bride walks on through, and she's going to walk right past this. So any pictures taken of the bride are probably going to have this as a backdrop. Again, a big responsibility. A photo backdrop that they can take advantage of was my driving force back here. I like to work in layers. The back layer here is Hydrangeas crepe myrtles. And then in between each one of those is a pink velour crepe myrtle that was planted by the business owner. We had a hard time with weather this year. So we had negative 15-degree days in the winter, and then we had a May 1st blizzard. And I'm not talking about the delicious treat from Dairy Queen. I'm talking about an actual like snow blizzard where I got 24 degrees that night, or 24. It got really cold during the day. So we ran out and we wrapped sheets around stuff because the crepe myrtles are already leafed out. When a crepe myrtle leaves out and there's a late freeze, it's way too late because crepe myrtles, they're sleepy. You never give up on a crepe myrtle until you got to give up on a crepe myrtle. It's kind of one of those things. Hydrangeas, pink velour, that's going to be a great backdrop. These are going to get nice and tall. Then on the next layer, we've got these little lime hydrangeas. So this isn't a limelight hydrangea, this is a little limelight hydrangea. And I've got a row of those. They're gonna get about 5 feet tall. Crepe myrtles behind, little limes, and then the next row is going to be these really pretty double knockout roses. Now, the key to the double knockouts for this particular area is every year I'm gonna trim them down to about 8 inches. Actually, I'm gonna trim them down to about 8 inches in the fall. And then I'm going to properly dispose of the trimmings. That way I don't have to worry about any of the mites that carry the witch's broom. That's a P. Allen Smith tip. You know what you're talking about, P. I don't call him P, I call him PP. He gets a kick out of it, it's funny. You know, because we're like that. We're gonna trim these down, these double knockouts down to 8 inches, you know, throw the trimmings on the burn pile here on property, and we're just gonna burn them up. Then there's gonna be a stone bench here to where the customers, the patrons of the wedding venue are going to be able to just walk up some steps that are going to be built, and they're going to be able to take pictures on the stone bench. Very good looking stone benches that he likes to purchase. One of them is going to go here, and then we can landscape this kind of barren area here. But we're waiting on the stone bench, so I kind of know how to frame out the bench, basically is what we're doing. You guys have seen me in this bed before. This is the bed where I first tested out the, I'm just noticing, he has kind of let this bed get a little dry. Some of these salvia look a little crispy, so he's not watering. Maybe I need to start shooting over here more often. But he's telling me he's taking care of the water. So here's the thing, sometimes when it's not very hot, you still got to realize water's still evaporating. The plants are still using water out of the soil profile. So just because it's not very hot doesn't mean that things aren't still evaporating and water is still being used. So if it's been 4 days since you've watered and you have some plants that it's their first year, you might want to just go give them a little drinky poo. This area right here, you'll see the dry salvia over here. That's where I first tested out the power planter for the first time, was right here. And that was the beginning of putting plants in this bed that I had mulched earlier in the fall. I came in and just put dump truck load after dump truck load of pole chips, which are arborist chips, in this area, and I think I had it. I mean, there was probably places where this was 8 inches deep, and now almost a year, not even a year later, because I did it in the fall. So we got all those freeze-thaw cycles over the winter, which is really good at breaking stuff down. Then the spring and the spring rains and all the moisture that comes along with that, and bioactivity, it loves to break down moist mulch. A moist, hospitable environment for those beneficial fungus and beneficial bacteria. Now you go dig through there, the O horizon, which is the organic layer in the soil profile, black as coffee grounds. It's good looking stuff. So we're drilling through that and putting plants. So a lot of that organic matter, the decomposed organic matter, gets mixed into the whole, and eventually we're gonna change this whole profile. And I'm very, very excited about that because, again, it's an ongoing process. Black-eyed Susans, you can kind of see what I did here, you know, with just that drift of black-eyed Susans. I think that'll show up really well. The Sunfinity sunflowers, let's face it, the deer have chomped on these things. I'm just saying, I don't know. And then we've got some different colors and different varieties of salvia in here. I've got three dwarf Fuji cherries on this side, and I've got 2 more on the other side, and the only reason there's not 3 over there, just kind of to frame this area out, is because one of them died because it was getting too much water. The water just comes right down this hill and just kind of drowned it. And we have had, you know, for all intents and purposes, a pretty good year when it comes to water. And a nice balance of water and heat. So we're doing pretty good. You know, some years, plenty of rain, never really warms up enough to really do anything. I've had years like that where I was just like, we just need sun. We just need sun. You're getting rain, overcast day, rain, overcast day, rain, and that's not what we want. We want those specialized cells to be able to photosynthesize sunlight, right? Turn it into simple sugar, pay the employees, that kind of jazz. If you're wondering what in the world is this doofus talking about, I do have a video called Are Plants Like a Business? And that's when I kind of explain beneficial fungus and beneficial bacteria. So we got this drift here. We've got periwinkle, pugster blue, butterfly bush right here. And they haven't really gotten thick, but they're gonna continue to impress me. They really like them here. They think they're very pretty. And butterflies. Oh, the butterflies. It's like a doggone Disney movie at my house. When I'm walking out of the door, it's like, you know, I just open the door and I hold my hands out like this and just butterflies are flying all over the place. It's funny to me because I'm just picturing a jogger running by and then looking up and seeing this guy standing there with his hands above his head. And butterflies all, you know, yeah. So anyway, because I have all of those pollinator loving plants right by my front door because I dig them. So I think brides might appreciate that sort of thing, even if one of them is lucky enough to have a butterfly land on her finger. Or that would be a cool photo opportunity if she could get one that landed on her finger. So I've got a couple of those in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a Stuart blunder. I grabbed a pink. Not on purpose, I was trying to grab all periwinkles and I grabbed a pink one. So that is what it is. And then some salvia kind of mixed out throughout. So there's not a whole lot of different types of plants in here. You've got some black-eyed Susans, some butterfly bush, some salvia, some dwarf Fuji cherries. Now the dwarf Fuji cherries are here on this bank to complement these pink weeping cherries. Now these are, I don't know what variety these are, but I think these are the 30-footers. My neighbor has this breathtaking one in his backyard. Absolutely stunning. There is another pink weeping cherry here. And there's another right underneath that awning where the grapevine has completely taken over and starting to. This place is a maintenance nightmare because no one did maintenance. That's why it's a maintenance nightmare. So this is the bed from a distance. You can kind of see how pretty it's becoming. and this is its first year. So the only thing in here that's been in here longer than a year is those pink velour crepe myrtles over there that I just cut down to the ground this year because they had too much winter dieback. So that is the rub. There is some yellow drift roses, which I like because from a distance they look white. Once those petals mature, they turn kind of a white color. So this is the procession area. Very pretty. I think those little limes in the combination with those Hydrangeas behind, they're all going to be blooming at the same time. So that whole row will be blooming together. I did put some Sunfinities behind the pink velour crepe myrtles because I didn't know if the pink velour crepe myrtles were going to pop out. And I am very impressed that they did. It wasn't that I wanted a stopgap. I wanted a safety measure in case they didn't come out of the ground. I wanted them to have something in between those two. What a pretty bed. Very excited. Okay, so on to the bed from hell. You remember the bed from hell? Okay, so we got some Always Save Salvia. Starting off, we got the Always Save Salvia. Comes into these Sombrero series. Purple coneflower, the Echinacea Sombrero. These are Sundown Echinacea right here. Boop, boop. With an Always Save Salvia. Look at that little guy right there. $3. That's how you and I got to meet each other, is right there. That guy right there. Because then I started thinking, I love to shop on the clearance section. There's got to be other people that enjoy that. So let's make a video so I can meet them. Look at this. Look at this hibiscus. It is going crazy. It is going crazy. This is Starry, Starry Night? I think this is Starry, Starry Night. But I've already said that, so if I'm wrong, oh, the editing team is going to tear me to pieces. Look at that. Look at that thing. Look at my hands. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, hillbilly from the Ozarks. They don't make them with small hands down here. Look at the size of that thing. Jeez Louise, and the red veins, and even this white here is splattered with pink splatters. Oh, I'm telling you what, the big guy knows what he was doing when he created humans that could cultivate kind of plants like this. Awesome. And then I just come through and just pop them. You know, when I'll see I just pop it off and throw it in the lawn so you can just mow them, chop them up, put that carbon back into the environment. That's always a variety I've always liked, is the Sundown Echinacea. I think it's pretty. And I don't know if they need to get big. I mean, if they top out at 2 feet, I would be totally cool with that. I wouldn't complain at all. The red drift roses that we planted in here, we just put 3 on each side of this bench. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking good. Funny part about it, I was meeting with the owner today, and he has no idea what type of Fred branch cypress this is. And I said, oh, I gotta tell all my peeps about that, because we just had a conversation about it. And then this saber gold juniper, I guess. I mean, I know it's a juniper. Couldn't tell you what variety it is. It came with the property. Black Tower elderberry. Remember us planting this? Black Tower elderberry. The first, I believe, the first prison story was the black lace elderberry. Was that the bed from hell? I can't remember. I can't remember if the first prison story. Which you guys, I'm looking at the analytics. You have to tell me in the comments, how do you want me to tell the prison story? Because I'm still going to do it. You just got to tell me how you want it told. Do I tell it with my voice? Do I put it in text? How do we do that? How do we do that? Because I'm looking at the charts and y'all are skipping through the prison story. So let me know how to tell that story. I'm gonna do it y'all's way. Okay, that's it for the bed from hell. If you can take a look back here, it is really coming along, and I'm so impressed from what we had prior. Maybe we can upgrade the bed from hell to the bed from Fort Irwin, maybe. Hosta bed. You remember the hosta bed? We were doing all those experiments, right? There we go. Look at that. Doesn't look as dismal anymore, does it? And I don't know for sure. I couldn't tell you for sure without going back to the video, but I can't tell you which one of these was trimmed, which ones I just kind of cut with my knife. I got a new landscaping knife that had serrated, so I was just cutting everything in half, and then I was flipping it around to the sharp side, and it was just slicing all of it off. That way I could fit more in a box. And I couldn't tell you which ones. I think the ones kind of, some of the other ones down here. Okay, and to back up my point, I'm going to come back in here with other varieties of hostas, but this is kind of like the bones of the landscape bed are going to be this variety of hosta. Plenty of water. Hostas like the water, but you don't have to water as often because they're typically in shade. I like putting hostas in shade. I do not like putting hostas in the sun. They can usually handle it until the end of July, and then they end up getting all crispy. There's stained glass hosta and guacamole hosta and the elegance hosta, which is what I think this donated variety is in here. So we've got 3 varieties of hostas. Here's the thing about hostas. I can't remember who it was on the internet. It wasn't anybody like, it wasn't like Laura or P. Allen Smith or anybody like that, like none of the big ones. All the varieties of hostas that she sees, she would buy one, and she put them up on this berm that was completely covered in trees, so it was all shade. And it was so breathtaking. It was so pretty, because hostas have a lot of the same textures and a lot of the same colors, so it wasn't overwhelming. So beautiful, because the leaves are kind of very similar, so it didn't really, and I've always wanted to duplicate that, and I think we're going to try that here. Not with every single variety. Obviously, when you put 30 elegance hostas in a flower bed, you're not going to be able to do that. We're going to run out of room. I don't know. He got all these for free. I mean, I just came in and started putting them in. Now, he did have to buy the elegance. He did have to buy the stained glass hostas. I think we ended up buying like $80 worth of hostas or something. I did get a pretty good deal on them, but I did pay full price. I think I paid $8 a piece for them. So that's why going with those non-patented varieties, so instead of paying 12, I paid 8, right? So it's almost like for every 2 that I buy, I got 1 for free, if you think about it like that. So that way so a lot of times I stay out of the patented varieties when it comes to hostas and things like that, just so I get the 3rd one for free. The 3 beds that we've really been focusing on this year, somewhat of a process. We put an entire pallet of that mulch from Walmart for $1 a bag in here. It's kind of the last thing other than just general maintenance that I've done here. I know this video's running long because I can't shut my mouth. Right here is this winter creeper euonymus. So look how pretty and full it looks now. It's because I trim it, right? I trim it like a hedge. I go in there and I start at the top of the hill and I angle the sickle bar down and I just start trimming it. And I work my way down. Then I get there with my blower. I get it there with my blower and I blow it all onto the sidewalk, and then I rake it up, put it into a bag, or just fling it off. It's a pretty steep drop off. I bet it's probably 20, 25 feet. There's a big retaining wall that kind of retains all this. And there's huge blocks. I mean, there's no safety issues at all. And I usually just dump them over the side so that way the carbon stays local. Yeah, that's why I do it. So the carbon stays local. But check this out. Look at that. And so it gets thicker. When you trim stuff, it gets thicker. Trim it, thickens up a little bit. I wait a month, I trim it again. It thickens up a little bit. Again. So especially stuff like winter creeper euonymus. Jeez Louise. But what I'm trying to do is keep this from being a weedy mess. So if I can stand up and use some equipment, right, that's a lot less intense labor than me crawling around on my hands and knees on a ledge pulling weeds out. So I hit it with pre-emergent, trim it, but it even works with things like Creeping Jenny, Creeping Charlie, Vinca, things like that. If you trim them, they go out. My mom used to mow Vinca, and we had the thickest Vinca in 4 states. I don't know if that's true. I really appreciate you coming out and hanging out with me at Affinity Estates and getting this update video and sticking through it to the end. You're awesome. The Affinity update video complete. Now 7 hours of editing. I hope this video isn't going to be very long, but I do have a tendency to pop off at the mouth a little bit. What an amazing opportunity to be able to have a place like this to where I can shoot videos and you know, someone else is paying for the plants and I just pay for the sweat and the blood and the tears. Definitely blood and sweat. There was tears one time. That's because I had my phone out and I was watching America's Got Talent, and the Cody kid got the golden buzzer. So, and I wanted to say, I have the best audience in the entire internet. I have the best subscribers. I'll put that up against anybody. You guys have been amazing, challenging the status quo when it comes to talking about plants. You're tolerating me. That's what I like. That's what I like. So anyway, I'm gonna put my audience up against anybody else's. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the comments. To tell you the truth, if they told me you can't make YouTube anymore, I would be really, really, really pissed off. Not because I can't make videos, not because I can't sit down and edit, because I do like doing those two things, but it's because I don't get to talk to you guys on a daily basis. That's really what I like about this. And I didn't think that that was gonna be the thing. That's like my favorite part about this. I'm not just saying that. Look, you will never find me blowing smoke. I will never do it. I will never say something that, okay, I might joke about stuff that's not true, right? For instance, there is no such thing as a prison Christmas talent show. There isn't. There isn't such of a thing that I know of. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your support and letting me into your home to talk about plants.